All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're tackling a really fundamental question. Why do our bodies react so differently to the exact same things? We're going to explore how your unique genetic blueprint, well, it isn't some prediction of your future. Think of it more like an operating manual for your health, right now. So let's dive in.
You've definitely seen this in your own life, right? Your friend can slam an espresso at 9 p.m. and sleep like a rock, but if you have one after lunch, you're just staring at the ceiling all night. Or, maybe alcohol just seems to hit you way harder and for longer than other people. It's so easy to blame willpower when you're struggling with weight or your health markers just aren't budging. But the reality is often so much deeper than that. It's actually an issue with your biological blueprint.
And this is the core idea we're going to unpack. See, most people think of genetics like it's a crystal ball for predicting some future disease, but its most powerful use? It's for right now. Think of your DNA as an operating manual. It tells you exactly how your body, and only your body, processes daily inputs. We're talking food, caffeine, stress, you name it. It's all about optimizing intelligently, not just sitting around waiting to see what destiny has in store for you. Okay, so this diagram right here simplifies a really critical idea. A gene? It's just an instruction. Your lifestyle, what you eat, how you move, the stress you handle, that's the variable. And the outcome? Well, that's your reality. A gene variant might raise your susceptibility to something, sure, but it's usually your lifestyle choices that create the kind of chronic inflammation or metabolic stress that actually leads to a problem. The genes are the map. Your lifestyle is what determines the route you actually take.
Yeah, and here's a really powerful way to think about it. Genetics loads the gun, but it's your lifestyle that pulls the trigger. This isn't about being a victim of your DNA at all. It's about being empowered by it. You are in control of the most important variables that are going to determine your health outcomes.
But here's something that's super crucial to understand. Not all genetic findings are created equal. We can actually group them into tiers. So tier A, that's the highly actionable stuff. Think alcohol metabolism or lactose digestion, where a genetic finding points to a super clear change in behavior. Then you've got tier B, moderately actionable. This is stuff like obesity risk, where your lifestyle can really manage your genetic predisposition. And tier C is more exploratory. Think of these more as susceptibility markers, not certainties. The whole goal is to focus your energy on those top tiers where you can make the biggest impact.
Okay, let's look at a real-world example, the APOA2 gene and saturated fat. You know that generic advice, all saturated fat is bad? It's just way too simplistic. As this chart shows, for somebody with the standard genotype, a diet high in saturated fat might not really increase their obesity risk all that much. But for someone with the risk genotype, that exact same diet dramatically increases their risk. This is a perfect illustration of why personalization is everything. It's not that fat is just universally bad. It's that for some people, the type of fat they eat is an absolutely critical factor in their health. Now, let's talk about the FTO gene. This one is strongly linked to obesity risk. And this balance scale you see here, it shows the concept perfectly. On one side, you have your genetic risk, but on the other, you have physical activity. For people with this genetic tendency, consistent exercise isn't just a good idea. It is a powerful tool that can literally outweigh and override their genetic predisposition. You're not doomed. You just have a much stronger reason to make movement a priority. Okay, next up, glucose sensitivity, which is linked to the TCF7L2 gene. If you have a specific variant here, your body might just struggle to manage blood sugar. The solution isn't some crazy restrictive fad diet. It's a consistent protocol. Heavy resistance training, a high fiber intake, strict sleep regulation, and regularly monitoring your HbA1c, which is just a measure of your average blood sugar over 3 months. This kind of precise, consistent approach creates metabolic stability, where those extreme diets just fail. Let's talk about alcohol for a second. Is it just empty calories, or is it basically a biological toxin? Well, genetically, it can actually be both. For people with variants in genes like PNPLA3 or ALDH2, their body really struggles to clear alcohol efficiently. As the slider shows, for these people, alcohol isn't just a drink, it is a high biological stressor. And this is a total game changer. It shifts the entire conversation from a moral issue of discipline to a matter of non-negotiable biochemistry. And here's one I think almost everybody can relate to. I just can't drink coffee after 2 p.m. That is not a placebo effect. It is not a sign of weakness. It's all about your CYP1A2 gene, which controls the enzymatic speed for metabolizing caffeine. As this clock shows, Fast metabolizers clear it really quickly, but slow metabolizers, that caffeine is just sticking around for hours and hours, seriously risking your sleep. If you feel wired, it's because you are literally wired differently.
Here's another great example of where generic advice can completely fall short. We're always told to eat walnuts and flax seeds for our omega-3s. But as this flowchart shows, those plants give you something called ALA, which your body then has to convert into the usable forms EPA and DHA. Your FADS genes control how well you make that conversion. And if you're an inefficient converter, plant-based sources just aren't going to be enough. You have a genetic need for direct sources like fish or algae to actually get the benefits. So when you put all of this together, the picture becomes crystal clear. This is the power of precision nutrition over trend dieting. Instead of chasing the latest fad, you can make these really targeted decisions based on your own biology. You prioritize fat quality because of your APO2 gene. You make physical activity non-negotiable because of FTO. You time your caffeine because of CYP1A2. This isn't a trend. This is personalized health in action. So what's the ultimate takeaway here? Whole genome sequencing, it does not replace good habits. It's not a magic bullet. What it does do is tell you where you need to be extra intentional. This bullseye graphic is the perfect visual for this. It highlights where your body is resilient and has flexibility, and maybe even more importantly, it highlights where your body is vulnerable and really requires you to be more rigid with your habits. It's all about applying your effort where it's going to have the greatest impact. And that brings us right back to our central theme. Your DNA is not your destiny, it is your operating manual. It contains all the instructions to help you understand this unique, incredible machine you are living in. So the only question left is, are you ready to start reading? Thanks for tuning in.